I'd like to call to order the Town of Willington Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission. Today's a special meeting agenda, June 23rd, 2025. The time is now 6:30. First order of business, call to order. Mr. Drobny. We have Evan, Barbiano, myself, Patrick Lord, is Ralph and David Jordan have been excused. There's no seeing of alternates. There's no new applications to be received. Next item on the agenda is the approval of meeting minutes from May 19th, 2025. Do I have to abstain from this since I wasn't at the meeting?
You read them and you're familiar with it,
Yep.
so.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the May 19th, 2025 Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission meeting. I'll second that. All in favor? There's no public hearing to be held today, so we move on to new business. Inland Wetlands application 25-8. Application to construct replacement garage within the upland review area at 136 Turnpike Road, map block lot 452200. Applicant Michelle Hipsky. Hi, Michelle, how are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. We're gonna pull up your proposed site plan here.
All right.
So you want me to start with that or you want me to?
Yeah, let's do a tour.
There we go.
All right, so if you just want to talk us through a little bit, you have a garage to be replaced there.
Yes,
And in this frame, is it going to the top of the screen, to the left, right? To the bottom?
The garage itself,
my Ben
The new
is
construction.
Sorry.
Yeah. that garage that's boxed around, it's gonna be in the exact same spot.
Right,
So,
but you're expanding it considerably. So which way is it expanding towards?
oh, to the, I guess you call it the west.
To the west? Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw there was something that was noted on one of your drawings. Is there a culverted stream there? It said this water course is subgrade pipe shown on plans.
Yeah, so there's the water course that has the 136 address kind of next to it there. That's a pond. And there's a 12-inch culvert that runs from that pond to the north of that garage where it outlets into a sediment pond, which is the wetland that we're in the buffer for.
Yep. Okay.
That wetland's not shown on the town mapping, but it's the federal system has it as a water course, but it's not really. Technically it is, but it's a culvert. It's not open.
Sure. Yeah, what was your name for the record, sir?
This has been my son, Benjamin Hipsky.
Sorry.
Okay, all right, thank you. So your expansion, will that expansion go over that pipe?
No. Nope. That's we made sure not to cover it in case it ever needed to be repaired. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be a problem.
That's good forethought there. You want to pull up the proposed,
Well, you're gonna-
oh, the wetland inventory?
Just the one you're referencing, if you're,
Okay.
unless you're good with it.
So for the construction, can you just walk us through if you got any proposed, grading changes or what your sediment and erosion control BMPs might be?
For ENS, we're gonna just stick with the silt fence, just to maintain the replacement of the garage is gonna be minimal disturbance. It's gonna be, you know, the old one and then just digging for the foundation. So once the foundation's in, the site's gonna be pretty well established. Not planning to cut out more grass than they have to put the foundation in. And then as far as the BMP goes, we're gonna just maintain where things are in the drainage patterns. Try not to change where things go now, you know, minimizing overall disturbance and you know, we don't want to start altering anything. So some water runs, you know, as you can see in the grading, some water runs to the south of the building and we'll maintain that. And then some water runs to the north of the existing one and we'll maintain that. So it, you know, sheet flows out, try not to concentrate anything if we can.
Is that gonna be slab on grade or you have to dig down for that?
It'll be frost walls. I think he's got them going out 4 foot.
Okay. And then, can you talk after construction's done, what your plan is to vegetate and stabilize this area?
Everything that's grass as it looks now is going to be return to grass, or it'll be, you know, the processed driveway. So nothing, you know, it'll be seeded and watered to make sure it's established before the silt fence comes out. You know, like I said, trying to minimize our disturbance and maintain everything as it is.
Gentlemen, any questions of the applicant? It's pretty straightforward to me.
Do you have to bring in any fill for this?
No, no. This will all be, we'll work with what's there. We're gonna generate some fill with the expansion of the garage and the footings and stuff, so that'll be moved out of the wetlands buffer completely. It'll stay on site, but out of the buffer if we do generate excess.
All right. Any further discussion? I'd like to make a motion to approve inland wetlands application 25-8, application to construct replacement garage within the upland review area at 136 Turnpike Road, map block lot 4322-00, applicant Michelle Hipsky, according to the plan and information that was provided to the commission. I'll second that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you and good luck with your project.
Thank you so
Thank-
much.
Next order of business is inland wetland application, IW 25-9, application for installation of driveway with 2 wetland crossings at 14 Balaz Road, map block lot 4417-00, applicant, is it Stephen? Stan Rozankowitz.
There you go.
Okay, we have Mr. Richard Zulik here with them as his wetland scientist. So we conducted a site walk earlier today at 5:30. The commission reviewed the proposed, well, the first proposed crossing. It's kind of unclear where, is this the property line there then?
Yes.
You know, where we were in relation to all that, but it appeared that was probably the most narrow crossing because he's got a setback here, yeah?
Right, that is this side yard setback.
Yep. So, you know, we saw what appeared to be an intermittent stream that ran through here, and that's why we thought there was a proposed culvert crossing there and here. We didn't make it over there, but just looking at the topography, it looked like that was. Had some
Exactly,
bank, had some
yeah.
bank and was carrying water
Absolutely.
into this larger system that's down there.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So, we had a discussion with the applicant and I really want to know what that span is. How many feet and how many square feet of fill is proposed for that and this area. Most likely is because that's the most.
Well, to give you I mean, the distance between these two solid lines is 25 feet,
All right, so we got
so that gives you a little bit of.
25, 50, 75 feet, something like that,
Yeah, probably 50 feet.
50 feet. And
Yeah.
then,
Second crossing is much more than
yep,
I don't have my scale with me. I'm not sure I printed it to scale.
Make sure nobody's-
so what we were discussing on the sidewalk, just to get you up to speed.
Yeah.
Sounds like the applicant is willing to do some sort of like some mitigation planting. A 1-to-1 for square footage of fill. In that area. With some shrubs like winterberry, high-bush blueberry, something with some wildlife value. It's kind of like a mitigation offset because that is quite a large amount of fill. And also, maybe inserting a few more just to keep the hydrologic connectivity because that is such a large. Skunk cabbage swamp. Type area, just to keep that hydrologic connectivity is adding in maybe a few culvert piping into the roadway, just so that water can, not just at this culvert.
So it's not concentrated into that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
just so there was some additional hydrologic connectivity. And he also said you were gonna come up with a forest plan. A management plan of some sort,
Well, I am gonna.
address him with that, okay,
But, yeah.
so that's news to you now.
I can do more. I can do a forestman.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I am a forester. Yep.
But that's some things that we were talking about at the sidewalk is some mitigation planting in that area.
Looks like it's a third.
So this is a fifth. Oh, this.
Well, your plan might be different. Than we find out.
Yeah, it is. But this is a.
Oh, that's, yeah, I think that's 30. Oh, no, that could be down there. Right. I mean, if it's easier, you want to put the plan on the table.
No.
Just need one more.
Hope you weren't in the field today, but
I was not. Oh, that's done to scale. Look at that. I love it. So it looks like it's about 72 feet.
yeah, how wide?
72.
Uh,
72.
And then the width of the roadway,
The width of the roadway.
just so we can come up with a square footage
10.
calculation. And so you're looking at 720 square feet of planting and maybe whatever that is, say 1,000 square feet of planting area.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about plantings.
No, this all came up at the site walk,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we could certainly, come up with a planting list and make sure it's, something that's agreeable with Mike, maybe when we do the project.
Yep.
That works for you. I don't have anything with me, but I can.
Sure. But
They're pretty standard
yeah,
plantings, there's a well and mix of shrubbery and.
Yeah.
Such.
so it's good wetland, wildlife value.
Mhm.
But you got plenty of emergent stuff, like some
Right.
shrubby stuff, since some trees are gonna be coming down and
Right.
whatnot. Might be able to just enhance the area,
Yeah.
attract some more birds.
Yeah.
The Veery would love those out there.
Two things that I'll just mention. One, I assume this is designed correctly, but you'll want to make sure when you construct it. For the slope. There's a percent that it can't exceed. I don't have it on the top of my head, but.
Is it 10%?
For the gravel.
There's- Yeah, I think it might be 10 or 12. So I don't know if you're thinking down the road of ever having this, a house accessed by this. So
Yeah.
there's driveway standards in the regs.
Yeah, I think they meet the zoning standards. They certainly did when it was last approved.
So they shouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
The only other thing, which I guess is probably not as big of an issue that came up one of the last times, was constructing this in a way that you don't have all this runoff coming down the driveway and then ending up in the wetland. And so I don't know, you could probably do that with side slope or something, which I think it looks like it has.
Yeah.
I just don't want you to go in and then
Yeah.
down the road have to reconstruct a whole bunch of stuff when you decide to, if you decide to put it in a house. It's not anything that we're gonna review for. But if you ever get to a point where there's a structure back here, the fire department's gonna wanna make sure that it meets those standards, so. You should either construct it so that it complies, or. And you're gonna go back there and help you out if there's ever a
Cause the
problem.
original plan also had proposed home.
Yeah.
As part of the plan, so. Consistent.
This is driveway, basically the same thing.
This is
For
the
the
same,
what? It
yeah, this
is.
is the same
Okay,
driveway
so it-
with the, yeah.
So it,
I
pavement-
resubmitted the same exact plan,
Okay.
from 2000.
Yeah, so this piece here is the portion that's paved, which is probably because it exceeds the 10%.
Mhm.
Which means, from your perspective, you'll either have to maintain the same, this portion here, the material, this portion is showing as paved. And then you can see here, it kicks over to gravel, which is where I think the hashing is different. So you could either try to get a better grade, so you don't have to, but that's how it's shown here. And that's just because of, I think, stabilization, but also it must exceed the 10, because there's a threshold
Yeah.
of, you can have a paved driveway steeper.
Hmm.
So just so that you're aware when you have it installed or when you put it in.
At the end of the, just for the record, my name is Rick Zulik. I'm with Data Engineering and I'm a certified soil scientist. I do have a larger print here.
Yeah.
Which I just said here. You can see the stone wall is here. It's shown in that picture, and you can see that the end of that road originally was designed to have a house, well, and septic system completely out of the regulated area. So we're really not concentrating on that end of it, but at a wetland meeting, we're just trying to get. This was previously approved by this commission, but we failed to renew it. And the permit has run out, so we're looking to reapply to once again have access to this property. It is a lot of record. And we would like to, and upon some level of approval, Stanley will be purchasing it. He doesn't actually own it at the moment, but it's contingent on approval. He doesn't want it if he can't get. access in
Right,
there.
makes no sense.
So that's what we're here for, hopefully.
If we get the approval, we'll close on Friday.
So there are two crossings that have been proposed. There is a fair amount of silt fencing down gradient of the driveway. The crossings consist of 18-inch HDPE pipes with riprap plunge pools at the bottom or at the outlet to trap any sediment that might be collected. And I would expect we're gonna do a mini version of the same for any additional pipes that we put in to unconcentrate that flow, which does make sense. I mean, I have no problem with that.
Just to maintain that connectivity.
Yeah.
All right, so silt fence is going in, that's the ENS.
We've got details for the plunge pools,
Yeah.
the double pipes. So. For the record, the current owner is Craig Johnson. And the applicant is Stanley W. I could say your name, but I don't want to risk that.
I had asked you 4 times at the site walk, so I didn't butcher it like
It's way too-
all the other names I do.
It says way too many letters in it, you know?
All right, so we got 72 feet
Yeah.
there. So. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just a couple extra
Yeah.
pipes there.
Yep.
As a condition.
Yep. You can do that.
Same diameter.
No, it's small, I think we do smaller. I mean, I'm not positive because it was done a while ago, but it was designed for at least a 25-year storm.
Yeah,
Yeah, back then we designed for 25 years pretty regularly, so.
It's at 18. Do you want to state just so that we,
Yeah, I'm thinking 12-inch.
okay. Just enough if like
12.
salamanders or,
Yeah.
wildlife can get through there and stuff, water.
Yep,
so north is up, so you're asking for 2 additional 12-inch pipes to the west of
West.
the first crossing.
Right, yeah, and just spaced out. You'd have to come up with something,
evenly spaced, yeah.
yeah,
So,
like split the difference.
okay,
Like if it's like 15 feet from here and then another 30
Yeah.
feet from there.
we looked at prudent and reasonable alternatives for crossing on the original application, which was 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
2013, wasn't it?
2008.
2008.
2008,
That's when these were drawn.
That's when this was done.
the original.
Right.
And
Time flies.
the alternative would be to go further south, and it would be a
Oh, yeah,
much longer
yep.
crossing. I just don't feel like there's any reasonable alternative to what we've got proposed. We tried to utilize that little hill. So it comes up and down. It does fit in there pretty nicely. It's
Yeah.
cradled in, in between on either side of the hill. So it makes good edges. So additional plantings, additional pipeline.
Yes.
Okay.
For the additional piping and planting in
Yeah.
alignment with the square footage of the
Right.
facility area.
Yes.
Does that sound good to the commission members? Sounds good to me. If they're willing to do that.
Did you establish an amount for the wetland plantings?
I think it was like 1,000 square feet.
With 1,000 square feet of wetland plantings. Okay. And so you want that plan to be provided to me prior to construction,
Yes.
prior to the start of the activity?
Yep.
Yeah, I plan to have a whole plan.
And then 2 additional 12-inch pipes to the west of the first crossing, evenly spaced.
Yeah. And then I guess we would want you to just make sure the silt fence is,
ENS inspection.
yeah.
Okay.
Further. Make a motion to approve inland wetlands application IW 25-9, application for installation of driveway with 2 wetland crossings at 14 Balaz Road. Map block lot 4417-00, applicant Stan Warzonkowitz. Is there a second on the floor?
Second.
And this inclusive of the three conditions
Yes.
that we just described, the wetland planting plan provided for approximately 1,000 square feet of mitigation to staff, 2 additional pipes to the west of the first crossing, evenly spaced, 12-inch pipe, and ENS inspection prior to the start of the activity.
With that, is there any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Good luck.
Thank you. You have access to your property. Yes. It'll be your property at the end of the week. It will be. Just in time for the great weather.
Yeah.
Wait, it's miserable out there. So to answer your question, I was out there for a while this morning. I just.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
I really thought at some point I would just pass out.
Right.
Sometimes
Yeah, we can't do all our field work.
it's too much.
Yeah. Too much to ask of people.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you. We'll keep seeing you.
Nice
guys.
meeting you.
Yeah. Is this, are these copies I can keep? Sure. Okay.
Okay, there is no old business to discuss. Is there correspondence, staff report and discussion?
Yeah, I won't have anything else. Let me check to see. Well, I don't think we have any other. Any other applications? Nope. So we have no applications pending for July at this point in time. So if we did have a meeting, it would just be for receipt.
Okay. Anything to report to the commission?
Haven't done any agent permits, have not issued any violation orders or had any complaints, so no.
Okay. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to speak in the public comment period?
Nobody here.
And on that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the June 23rd, 2025 special meeting of the Town of Willington Inland Wetland and Watercourses Commission. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?